I was an atheist. My wife was an agnostic. She didn't know what to believe. And she came up to me one day and gave me the worst news any atheist husband could get. She said, I've become a Christian. I thought, oh, great. Now she's going to start judging me. Now she's going to try to get me not to hang out with my friends. Now she's going to make the kids think that there's something wrong with me because I don't believe in God. I just saw trouble. And trouble came because all of a sudden she becomes a devout Christian and I'm an adamant atheist. We're at loggerheads. I thought, I got to get my marriage back together here. There's an easy way. All I have to do is disprove Christianity. I went to Yale Law School. I understand what evidence is. I'm sure I can poke enough holes in Christianity that it would fall apart. I thought I could disprove it. I ended up spending a year and 9 months probing the historical data concerning the resurrection of Jesus. Because even as an atheist, I understood everything depends on whether Jesus returned from the dead or not. Because clearly, Jesus made transcendent and messianic and divine claims about himself. He claimed he was the Son of God. But if Jesus claimed to be God, died, and then 3 days later rose from the dead, that's pretty good evidence he's telling the truth. So even as an atheist, I recognized this is the ballgame. As I began to investigate the resurrection, I was stunned. My parents for Christmas gave me this punching clown. It would go down when you would hit it, but then it would bounce back up. That's how I pictured this. I thought I had a knockdown punch. I thought I could disprove Christianity. So I'd hit it with an objection and it would bounce back. There's an answer to that. What about this? Bang, I'd hit it again and it would bounce back. There's an answer to that. So I was stunned because I did not expect there to be any historical validity to the fact that Jesus died on a cross and rose from the dead. But I can summarize it really quickly, what I found, using 4 words that begin with the letter E, execution. Jesus was dead after being crucified. I thought maybe he survived and the cool, damp air of the tomb resuscitated him. No, we have no record anywhere of anyone surviving a full Roman crucifixion, anywhere. The second E stands for early reports that he rose from the dead. In other words, reports that didn't come after decades of legendary development, but go right back to the cross itself. I used to think as a skeptic, the resurrection is a legend. I knew it took time for legend to develop in the ancient world. Well, what I learned is that we have a report of the resurrection of Jesus has been dated back by scholars to within months of his death. It's in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 15. That is a nugget that talks about the resurrection of Jesus. Dr. James D.G. Dunn of the United Kingdom, he analyzed this report, and here was his conclusion. He says, we can be entirely confident that this report was written originally within months of the death of Jesus. That is a news flash from ancient history, much too quick to be a legend that developed over the generations.